how are you?
Hi, I'm good, and you?
No, who are you? You wanted me to film. Now I'm
It's
filming.
your accent. It's your accent. I'm Axel.
Yeah.
So I'm trained by Hersovyac for.
With Axel too, by the way.
Yes. To Axel, the best. He trained me now for
A year, close to a year.
Close to a year. We started in 2020, and now it's my comeback, and we'll try to do the best to go on stage soon.
Alright, what are we doing today?
We're doing a pro.
Yep.
So we started with a chest and back.
Okay.
So wide grip for traps and of course shoulder. And yes, try to have a good session, good pump, and
Alright.
have fun.
Alright, good. Alright, what is going on, guys? I hope you're doing well. So today I'm getting back to you with a new video that has been in production for a while. It is a full upper body training with my trainee Axel. Axel that I've been training for about a year. I am so proud of him, and he did a fantastic work, fantastic evolution, and he departed from France and went abroad, and I wanted to take some time with him before him going out. And yeah, so this is basically one of my training, and we mixed a few things to complement from his own training, because even if there are cookie cutter principles, there are also things that are specialized, you know, depending on your goals, your injury historic, and also your own personal weak and strong point. For example, Axel has very strong shoulder and arms, and he really want to bring out his chest and back. So most of his upper body work focuses on that, but without aggravating shoulder issues he experienced in the past. While at the contrary, mine is exactly the reverse. I want to emphasize as much as possible my shoulder and my arms, and limit my chest, especially my chest hypertrophy, and just a bit of back, you know, especially thickness, but not much width. So you can see we mostly did machine and machine and cable on this workout, and we begin with heavy shoulder press on the machine. It is hammer strength. I really love this brand and this machine. The goal is simple. It is to overload, of course, the shoulder, but also the upper chest and the triceps. And I really like to work hard on this. For Axel, it was kind of a first time in a sense. He had some shoulder issues from a fall, so we were really careful, especially weight-wise, but he did well. I was always behind him to push him and to make sure he's not doing anything, that could be risky. Even if it's machine, you can still injure yourself or not help yourself with your goals. So, yeah. So here you can see he's only being, you know, not that much of a only, but he's doing 2 plate on this machine. He basically never did before. It was his first time in a on-air fitness, so hammer strength actually. And I was doing I think 3 plate and a 10th, so like 70 kilo. I'm an overhead presses specialist. This is what I like to do. I do not like bench, so of course, you know, there is a lot of disparity strength-wise, but he's really strong himself. On back, we started with wet grip because we wanted to emphasize the traps and rhomboids, especially the upper back, basically, but also kick in a bit of a rear delt, because as natural bodybuilders, except if you are a genetic anomaly, rear delt will most likely be something hard for you to achieve and to work. So wet grip, elbows out, row are some of the best exercise to do it. And here is just me to show you how you can keep the weight in place when you're going to go really heavy on lats. So this is, as it is written, a lat row. So this means that basically you're going to cue in everything you can, both internal and external cues, to isolate, even if it's not really possible, but isolate the latissimus dorsi, from everything else. And since it is a huge focus of on Axel, it was of course mandatory we did that. Then we did some incline machine press, same hammer strength, really good. I don't think I have met ever someone that did not like this machine. It's just great. So we got harm on it. Here is me on the lat machine row. Not much to say, really. It's kind of easy, it's a shame the pin where you put plates are so small and so short. This is one of the machines that will benefit the most from buying GymPin, so, help yourself if you can. Again, on my turn on incline machine press, not much to say really. I surprised apparently a few people with my sit positioning and my grip width. You have to remind yourself that horizontal presses, for most part, just give me shoulder pain or discomfort. So I use a pretty close grip. And as for the sit positioning, which is pretty low, I think the lowest position actually, it's just my own personal comfort with my own shoulder makeup basically. Then we went on weight grip old school pull up, and we did 3 sets of max body weight prep. So the huge thing with pull up is that so many people do not understand how you're supposed to do them in order to achieve maximal back bias and hypertrophy. And I'm going to show you a few clips of training of one of the legends of bodybuilding, Frank Zane, and also Samir Bannout. You are not supposed to go that high when you want to emphasize the back. You go really wide and you do not go more higher than the forehead basically. And we were superseding that with low incline Smith press. This was my top set, my last set. I slipped a bit, this is why I degraded my form, but I normally never do that. Now this is Axel's turn. As you can see, his grip is way closer than mine. He also used straps, which is recommended if you have trouble feeling your back. And his elbow are a bit more in. This will be easier for him than to bias the lats, but also the teres major, and the low traps and medium traps. I see a lot of biomechanical experts that say this exercise is a back thickness exercise. And what can I say? I mean, no, it's just not, And by the way, nice development from Axel. Now on this exercise, he didn't go really low nor heavy because his shoulder was bugging him, as I said already, but he still put in the work and he made sure to keep the tension, so the mind-muscle connection on his chest, which is kind of the most important thing here. Even if you have something bugging you and you are maybe a bit, injured, just getting in, even doing a half-fast workout is better than nothing else. So yeah. Then we followed on to the arm portion. So this is a really old school silver era basic exercise. It is pullover and press on the easy bar. So you're basically doing, as I am basically doing right now, you're doing bent arm pullover with a barbell. This is going to emphasize a lot the long head of the triceps and use the lats as accessory pulling movement. And when you can't go anymore, you're going to go close grip presses. This will allow you to keep training your triceps, but with the help of your medial head and lateral head, and working your long head with a more advantageous mechanical position. So you can go back and forth like I did, or you can go each rep with a pull and then a press. It's really whatever you want. Axel was actually beginning on this movement. This is why it's so light and also why it's looking so wobbly, but he insisted, so I was just behind to make sure that he wasn't doing anything too risky and too improperly, but that is why it's not looking as fluid as mine, but he did great. And same thing, if you want to focus your arm, full range of motion is not necessarily something that is mandatory, especially for triceps and elbow health. So what he's doing is actually very smart to bias more the medial and lateral head, since his long head is already dead. So and he got stuck and he got stuck inside. We had so much fun that day. It was really great. So after that, we were supersetting it with hammer curl, and normally I'm doing crossbody hammer curl, really clean form and etc. But I've seen so many influencers, just getting the 46 kilos, so like 90, 100 pounds dumbbell, and flexing the fact that they can hammer curl it. So I just tried because it had been a while I didn't do heavy hammer curl, and well, the only thing that is really hard is to actually keep balance. So I don't really see I don't see why some kids are trying to flex on that on TikTok with that. But yeah, anyway. So this is the real curl we were doing. So pinwheel curl. Essentially, what you're doing is a hammer curl with a crossbody position. This will allow you to bias more of the brachial, and of course brachioradialis, but a little less. And it is really good, I found, and I stole that from the late John Meadow, both to work everything of your elbow flexors, but also warm up your elbow for incoming more brutal biceps work. So this way everything is perfectly warmed up and everything is pumped too all around the elbow. So yeah, after that we did a 3-set. I normally do not do a 3-set, but since we had to be a bit faster, both of us, it was a 3-set. So basically I started with close grip, banded diamond push-up, and I elevated my feet to really bias as much as possible my elbow, and he started with concentration curl. The video is a bit speed up, by the way. I do not go as fast, and neither does he. So yeah, after that I went to wrist curling with fat grips, which is one of the best exercise ever for grip masses, and also wrist conditioning. I really like it, and yeah, for overall arm mass, because if you have your arm just hanging off your side, relaxed, the thing that is going to make them pop and look really big is actually the forearm, you know, and the triceps. But yeah, the more the distal muscle, so far away from your center of mass muscle, are big, the better it is. So yeah, after that I went to the concentration curl, and I did what I could basically to really get in the biceps as much as possible. This kind of position allow you to really go hard on the long head of the biceps and still kick in the brachial. And basically Axel was just a step behind me on that part, and he did great considering he never did this kind of exercise, and he really did not put too much thought into his arm training, since as you can see, they are already so swollen big. But still, having strong arm does not necessarily mean you will have big arm, and the reverse is also true. So even if you have big arms and you do not necessarily want them to be bigger, make sure your elbow, your shoulder, and your wrist are both healthy and strong. As you can see here, I'm helping him with his positioning. There is a specific shoulder, elbow, and wrist alignment, and also how you can shift your whole body mass to be better balanced. For him, it was pretty light. It's only 12 kilos, so it's not that you will not be put off balance with that, but still, for your security, it's also very important. Then we went on to the cable portion. So we did cable tricep extension, and there is a little twist that not so many people know about, and that is that you need to keep your shoulder relaxed and allow some shoulder flexion and extension to first bias more the long head of the triceps, and second, avoiding that all the brunt of the work get put on the elbow and fatigue it prematurely. And the fat grip also allow you to mitigate and better spread amount the pressure all around your kinetic joint chain, so your shoulder, elbow, and wrist, as I said. And we basically chain that with fat grip curl, you know, and yeah, that's about it.
Vas-y, vas-y, vas-y. Triceps. Fais un double bicep. J'ai la miniature.
And yeah, as you can see, he's really good. I really like his shape. I'm kind of jealous, by the way. He's a strong, handsome lad, and I really wish him the best. This is my turn, basically, so I pretty much pull the whole stack. It's kind of easy. And also, it is allowing me to keep training my arms really hard without aggravating anything with my elbows and wrist, because I already had a few issues with both of them. So, you know, I want to be both strong and jacked, and also having good joints. So obviously it's key. I've been training for a decade. I intend to train for another decade, so I also have to keep in mind the long game. And I hope for you as well, who is watching right now, that you will think the same and that you will keep that in mind. Okay. Same for curls. As I had trouble to feel my biceps, fat grip helped a lot, and also being really strict and even posing at top, really not allowing myself to swing anything is really great. So yeah. And to finish it off, we went on just 2 sets of lateral raises, and we'll see for the real delt afterward on this amazing machine. It's from a German brand. It's Gym 80. And yeah, it's amazing. So I prefer to do it standing, but you're supposed to sit. Regardless, I prefer it standing, so I did. And we did 2 sets, and on the last set we did a little drop set. We removed 20% of the weight and we kept going. So this is my set, this was my set, and here is for Axel. Yet again, you can see the form is not the same for him, but as always, you have to listen to your own body, especially for the isolation work. You have to keep in mind your own bone structure, your own feeling, internal cues, you know, and how well you are going to execute the exercise with loads. It's not just with lightweight, it's with real weight, because you still have to actually try to overcompensate on your isolation work and go heavier and heavier with time, even if it is much slower and also much riskier. So here is the reverse Pec Deck, again 2 sets. There is something that I found that might help you, and it is that before I was doing it the wrong way to make sure that most of the work was on the rear delt, so I wasn't moving my shoulder blade, but I actually find it way more useful when I'm moving my shoulder blade. So, you know, if you have trouble to develop your upper back and or your rear delt, do this exercise, do it often, make sure to track the progression and performance on it, and actually do it properly with squeezing your shoulder blade, stabilizing everything, doing the elbow adduction and everything. So it is form, as always. Again, it is not necessarily bad form, it is what you prefer, it is what feels good, and you should also find what is the best for you, basically. Just, you know, listen to your guts, listen to your body. There is no real true form isolation work-wise. So yeah, we finished off with warm-up. I am very adamant of stretching, and I really do not understand people that do not stretch after training. Before training, I can see why. We have science study saying why it is not necessarily good, maybe except for dynamic stretching, but after your workout, you're going to be all pumped, all tight, and your joints have been, you know, pulled around in every direction, and you need to make sure that the tension, the fascia, the blood and the lymph are flowing properly, and also you will be pretty tense, so you need to actually cool down. Basically, you need to relax before exiting the gym. So right now we are stretching the shoulder, the chest, the biceps and everything. Someone was going to go forward in front of the camera. I told him, it's fine, don't worry, but it was a bit too late. Just make sure to stay civil and, you know, kind in the gym. Even if you're filming, you're not alone, and you're not the only one using the gym, so, you know, keep that in mind. This is for lat stretching. This one is much more for the upper part of the lat, and you're going to see me go and tilt the other way, like here, and this is going to be for the wall lat, especially around the hip. So if you have a tight lower back, tight hip, do this one. The one I'm showing right now, and Axel is also doing, but he's way tighter than me, is for the rear delt and the upper back, basically. I was very keen to keep that, to show you again that you're supposed to have fun in gym, even if you are here for business and really serious about your progress. Do not forget to have fun and to fool around a bit, especially when you're in good company. So yeah, and I'm showing him again because he had a bit of trouble, you know, to get that one right. And same thing, you know, it's also depending of your own mobility and your own flexibility, what you're feeling inside your body. You know, there is a cookie cutter form, and then there is your form. So do not be afraid to steer off a bit the normal path and to find what is working best for you, as long as you're not harming yourself. Okay, each stretch was held for about 10 to 12 seconds. Now it's posing time. So it was actually a pain in the ass to find a good place, a good spot, because I'm really pale. I'm really pale, and there is not much room in the locker room. So yeah, this is the best we could come forward with. So yeah, yet again, I'm really proud of Axel. He did a fantastic transformation. I do believe that, you know, anyone can do this. It was, of course, achieved naturally. Same for me. I've been training for a decade. Maybe I have good genetic. Maybe it's just normal. I do believe that I have average, maybe average good genetic, but it's just being consistent, putting in the work. And as someone that passed away and left a good impression on a lot of people, the more you put in, the more you get out. So same thing here. Axel is also actually interested into some classic physique competition organization, so we'll see if we can do that. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me if you did. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And also, as for posing wise, I am also a personal trainer, so I of course help people with a diet, with their training. And also I'm doing posing lesson, both via video call and also in person. So yeah, if you're interested into that, learning from a pretty good poser, actually, might have say, and a lot of people think that too. I'm available. You can hit me up, and yeah. Yet again, I'm really proud of him. I really hope this video inspire you and motivate you to reach higher and to also be more serious about both bodybuilding and also your own presentation via posing. And yeah, that's about it. I hope we really had some lovely end of year, and I'll see you soon. Take care.